now I'm about 200 yards from where I did the first video of this pair of videos, but now I'm in a stand of trees that came in after the last wildfire here about 1890. So these are 130-year-old trees, mostly Douglas firs in the upper canopy. Middle canopy is western red cedar and western hemlock a little bit. Lots of vine maple, which is a shrub maple, a little bit of native rhododendron, and lots of other plants. And so we're here to look at this young maple, bigleaf maple. Again, notice number of leaves, 4 versus 10 by the road. And notice the orientation of the leaves. If I get down like this, they're virtually horizontal because the bulk of the light that this tree receives every day is from directly overhead. The forest canopy is so dense that relatively little light comes in from the south or the east or the west or the north, okay? So fewer leaves, horizontal orientation. And we look here at how much it's grown this year. And so here's where its bud was. And so it's grown 2.5 or 3 inches this year. So it's about half the height of the last one. So it's, 2.5, 3 feet tall. So is it half the age? The last tree was 4 or 5 years old. So is this one 2 or 3 years old? Guess again. This little waist-high tree here is 32 years old. There's been a lot of competition during its entire life here, mainly for light, a little bit for water and nutrients, but mostly for light. So it was able to germinate in the under canopy here, and it's been growing. It's alive, but its growth is extremely slow. And like all of us on the planet, it has a checkered past. If we look a little more closely here at the stem, we see this little crook here where when the tree was 16 years old, it was bit off probably by a passing deer. And then it had to pop a new bud and start growing again. So this is 1 year's growth to that set of bud scale scars, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, etc. And so the tree was growing back then at about 1/2 inch a year. So up to the crook in the stem was 16 years, and above that is another 16 years. So again, a 32-year-old tree growing here in the under canopy. And so a tree like this, if suddenly there was a storm and the several of the Douglas firs in the upper canopy here blew down, and suddenly there was all this light streaming into this clearing, this little maple would start to take off and grow faster, and it could eventually be growing 3 or even 4 feet a year. So say it grew for another 50 years. Then if we were to cut it down and count the growth rings at the base, we would see 32 minuscule rings and then 50 really big rings after that. That might be 1/4 inch or even 1/2 inch if bigleaf maples can grow really fast. All right. So again, currently this tree is just 32 years old. Had been growing about 1/2 inch a year. And the last couple years, well, last year it grew about 1.5 inches. This year it looks like it's going to grow, like I say, almost 3 inches. So just amazing. So life in the under canopy. See those dinner platter-like leaves, just flat, 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 horizontal, horizontal. Okay, that's the way you have to be if you live in the under canopy here. So is it struggling? I don't know. It's set its bud for next year already. It's going to have probably 4 more little leaves. So it's doing okay. It's just waiting for a hole in the upper canopy or another deer to come by and nip off this top. So, okay, that's where we are here. It's a nice landing pad for a fly.